Are you inadvertently reinforcing your child's behavior, perhaps behavior you don't want? Stay tuned and we're going to talk about it. So I have a really great memory of this little guy that we used to work with, and I will just call him Jacob. And Jacob was maybe 7 or 8, and he was getting ABA services through the center and doing quite well. But his mom was having a problem with him at home, where he would do things like he would look at his mom across the room, open the refrigerator door while still looking at mom, take the orange juice out, unscrew it, and dump it, all while looking at his mom. And he was just doing a lot of destructive, really messy things like that. And mom couldn't figure out why this was going on. Mom was just a very animated person. And so she just always had like big movements and big gestures and just talked real loud and got real excited and laughed real loud. Just a little story about Brad is when he was young, he had a really difficult time understanding and distinguishing extreme emotions. So sometimes a person might be crying or a person might be laughing really hard, and he would like lean to me and say, "Is she laughing or crying?" He could not tell laughing from crying. He knew they were extremes, but he couldn't figure them out. Now, eventually he did, but when he was little, it took him some time to figure out those emotions. So that just kind of plays a little bit into my story. So myself and some other behavior analysts, we went over to Jacob's house just to kind of watch and see, what's going on with this, kind of behavior that we're certainly not getting at the center. Why is he, doing these things? Why is he ripping open bags of flour and, spewing them all over the carpet and, dumping milk and orange juice? So we just kind of observed, and he did have one of those behaviors where, he was just kind of running around being goofy, and he, looked over at us and looked over at mom, and, he knew he had an audience, and he just opened up a carton of milk and just dumped it. And then right there, his mom was like, "Oh my God, Jacob, I can't believe you did that. Oh!" And she just went on and on. "Now I'm gonna have to clean this up. Oh my God, where's the bucket? I gotta get the mop. You have to stay here and watch me clean it up. You make me crazy." And she was just, very big and animated. And Jacob was loving it. And we said, aha, this is all reinforcing for Jacob. Again, if you remember, in past videos, we talked about behavior. And, behavior is behavior. We have, positive reinforcement and we have negative reinforcement. Even though mom was mad at Jacob and scolding him, he didn't see that. He just loved her blah, blah, over the top behavior. So what we had to do is just say, aha, here's what it is. So what we had to teach mom to do is if Jacob did something like that she would not say a word. She would very quietly go over to him. She would take him by his hand. She would go bring him into another room and leave him with an older brother or sister or dad. He could not watch her clean it up, and she really wasn't gonna say anything about it. So if she were to say something about it, she would have to just kind of look at him, right in the eye and just say, "Jacob, I don't like it when you do this," in a very calm voice. So we had to teach her to take this thing that he found reinforcing and only use it to reinforce him for behavior that we wanted. So very quickly, because he wasn't getting the big blah, blah, blah stuff, he stopped doing that. And so, but we had to really make sure that anytime he did something that she wanted him to do, it was like, "Oh my God, Jacob, that's wonderful, I love it, hooray, oh my gosh." So we had to teach her to do that. So we just had to change mom's behavior a little bit, and then that changed Jacob's behavior, because it's really no fun. I mean, so if he was pouring out the milk and emptying bags of flour all over the carpet, one time he emptied a whole box of Fruity Pebbles on the carpet. And Fruity Pebbles are little, and it ruined the vacuum cleaner trying to get up the Fruity Pebbles. But he would just do things like that just to see the mom's reaction. "I'm vacuuming, Jacob, you're ruining my vacuum." He was loving it. So we had to just go in and change mom's behavior, and then the stuff that she didn't want, the behavior, you know, which is kind of like we do at the center. We're always big and over the top when we have behaviors that we want, but you know, we never, you know, publicly scold, you know, children. So we just say, hey, buddy, we don't like that, we don't do that, and we just try to ignore it and, you know, then focus on the positives. So we changed that, and like quickly, like after 2 more times, so it happened after we left, he did it 2 more times, and then he never did it again because mom did not make it reinforcing anymore. And so, but she was very careful to just, you know, use that big over-the-top reinforcement for the stuff that he loved. I just want you to think about things like that. So, you know, always, you know, just think about if your child continues to do something, he's doing it for a reason. We only do things that we get something out of. We don't do things that we don't get anything out of. Behaviors only maintain if we're getting something out of them. And so for Jacob, it was behavior. So just kind of think about those things when your child is doing something, and just remember, you know, maybe he's just doing it for attention, and try to maybe change things up. And again, if you're working at an ABA facility, make sure you talk to your BCBA and your provider about it, and they could probably come in and find out the function of the behavior. And we've talked about functions of behavior. It's for attention, whether it's, you know, yay attention or nay attention, getting a tangible item, getting away from something you don't want to do, or because it's a self-stimulatory behavior that just feels good. So keep that in mind. I hope this helps. If you have any stories about something like this that you'd like to share, please share below. We'd love to hear about them and start a conversation. It's really kind of fun. And please subscribe, like, and share my channel. Thanks so much for spending time with me and Life with a Side of Autism. We'll see you on the next video.